The US military's most advanced and cutting-edge weapon systems all share a dangerous, dirty secret. It's a critical vulnerability that begins thousands of miles away, deep inside China's vast industrial heartlands. Rare earth elements. They are the invisible backbone of modern warfare. Not just components, but the very enablers of technological dominance. These 17 obscure metals possess unique magnetic and luminescent properties that are, simply put, irreplaceable. Without them, the world's most advanced military hardware would be little more than inert metal. They are in every jet, submarine, missile, and radar system the Pentagon deploys. From the smallest microchip to the largest motor, their presence is a non-negotiable requirement for performance. This isn't a matter of simple enhancement. It's a fundamental dependency woven into the very fabric of America's defense infrastructure. The scale of this dependency is staggering. To truly grasp it, we need to look at the numbers. An F-35 fighter jet contains nearly 920 pounds of rare earths. This isn't just ballast. These elements are critical for the permanent magnets in its electrical systems, the actuators controlling its flight surfaces, its advanced sensors, and the powerful ASA radar that gives it unparalleled situational awareness. Now scale that up to the naval fleet. An Arleigh Burke destroyer? Over 5,000 pounds. These materials are indispensable for its Aegis combat system and sophisticated sonar arrays. But even that pales in comparison to the silent hunters of the deep. A Virginia-class submarine? Nearly 10,000 pounds. A significant portion is in its permanent magnet main propulsion motor, a revolutionary technology that allows the submarine to move with unprecedented quietness, making it nearly undetectable. This dependency extends across every domain of conflict. These materials power the guidance systems in missiles and smart bombs, using tiny, powerful magnets for pinpoint precision. They are the heart of the sonar arrays on ships and submarines, painting a clear picture of the underwater battlespace. They enable the quiet, efficient propulsion units that give our submarines their critical stealth advantage. They are essential for the powerful targeting radars that can track hundreds of threats simultaneously. On the ground, they create the iconic green glow of night vision, turning night into day for the soldier. In the air, they are in the motors and advanced optics of our unmanned drones. And in space, our vital network of military satellites relies on them for radiation-hardened electronics and sensitive camera lenses. Every single one of these capabilities, which form the night vision, drones, and satellite communications that give the US its battlefield edge, is critically dependent on a steady supply of these remarkable elements. According to a 2024 Wall Street Journal investigation, the true bottleneck in the global tech and defense race isn't just mining rare earths. It's the complex, multi-stage process of turning them into permanent magnets. These aren't your ordinary refrigerator magnets. We're talking about high-performance neodymium magnets, modern marvels of material science. Their incredible strength-to-weight ratio is the secret ingredient powering our 21st century world, enabling the hyper-efficiency of everything from the electric motors in our cars and the generators in massive wind turbines to the tiny components that make our smartphones and laptops possible. They are, quite simply, indispensable. And in this critical arena, China's dominance is nearly absolute. The country makes over 90% of the world's high-strength permanent magnets. More alarmingly, this includes the defense-grade magnets that are the beating heart of America's most advanced weapon systems. The F-35 Lightning II fighter jet requires nearly half a ton of rare earth materials, much of it for sophisticated magnets in its radar and flight controls. The Navy's DDG-51 destroyers rely on them for their electric drive propulsion and Aegis combat systems. Tomahawk cruise missiles, Predator drones, smart bombs, all are critically dependent. This isn't just a supply chain issue, it's a glaring national security vulnerability. A single point of failure, controlled by a strategic rival. How did the US allow this to happen? The story begins decades ago. While the US pioneered rare earth technology, it systematically dismantled its own capabilities. Spurred by rising environmental concerns and the allure of cheaper overseas labor, the US scaled back mining and shut down its processing plants. The last American permanent magnet factory was bought by a Chinese consortium in 1995, and its entire production line was physically moved to China. While America was outsourcing, China was executing a meticulous, decades-long strategy. Guided by Deng Xiaoping's famous declaration that the Middle East has oil, China has rare earths, Beijing invested billions. They mastered every single step of the complex supply chain: chemical separation, refining, metallurgy, alloy manufacturing, and finally, magnet fabrication. The result is a staggering dependency. Today, even the rare earths mined on U.S. soil must be sent to China for final processing. The Mountain Pass mine in California, America's only large-scale rare earth operation, extracts a mineral concentrate. But because the U.S. lacks the domestic industrial infrastructure for the next steps, the concentrate is loaded onto cargo ships and sent across the Pacific. In China, it's separated and refined, with some of it being turned into the very magnets that are then sold back to American manufacturers. This circular, dependent relationship represents a profound strategic failure. Rebuilding this entire industrial ecosystem is a monumental task, a race against time to reclaim control over the building blocks of modern power. The Pentagon calls this a single point of failure. It's an engineering term for a flaw where one part's failure collapses an entire system. Here, the system is America's defense industrial base. For decades, in the pursuit of efficiency, we outsourced fundamental components, creating a dependency that is now a strategic liability of the highest order. This wasn't an accident, it was a choice with consequences we are only now beginning to grasp. If Beijing turned off the tap tomorrow, and by the tap, we mean the state-controlled network of mines and factories producing the world's essential materials. We're talking about rare earth elements, the lifeblood of modern tech, crucial for the guidance systems in Tomahawk missiles and the magnets in an F-35's radar. We're talking about specialized microelectronics, the silicon brains powering our drones and satellites. Over 80% of these critical inputs originate in or are processed by China. U.S. weapons production could stall within months. The shutdown would be a slow paralysis. In the first weeks, contractors would burn through limited stockpiles. Frantic calls would search for alternatives, but the reality would set in. There are none at the required scale. China deliberately built this monopoly. By month 2, assembly lines would slow. By month 3, they could grind to a halt. The arsenal of democracy would fall silent, not from an attack, but from a simple lack of parts. This is more than an economic issue. While the economic fallout would be catastrophic, billions lost, jobs vanishing, the true danger is geopolitical. This is a calculated strategy of weaponized interdependence. It gives a foreign adversary a kill switch on American military readiness, a lever of control that can be pulled at any time for any reason. In a future conflict, America's ability to build and sustain its war machines could depend on China's permission. Imagine a crisis erupting. The U.S. needs to surge production, replenish munitions, and repair its fleet. But at that critical moment, the supply chain is severed. America's capacity to project power is held hostage. Commanders would be forced to ration missiles and conserve assets, fighting not just the enemy, but their own broken supply lines. The ability to sustain a high-intensity conflict, the hallmark of American power, would evaporate. The U.S. military's dangerous, dirty secret isn't about what we build. It's about where the heart of our technology comes from. We see the awe-inspiring finished products, the stealth fighters, the aircraft carriers. They are symbols of American strength. But this is a dangerous illusion. The secret isn't the weapon itself. It's the microscopic, often inexpensive but irreplaceable component buried deep inside. A tiny magnet, a specific processor. The secret is that the heart of America's 21st century military might beats with a pulse controlled from overseas.